everybody, welcome back. Outlaw here with another truck driving vlog. The American truck driver.
Truck driver? No, I'm a beautician. Of course I'm a truck driver.
Working on just about all the highways of the US. To a lot of people, they're heroes. To a lot of people, they're the people who are in your way, they're slowing you down, and they just can't move quickly enough. And to some people, they're friends, mothers, fathers, sons, sisters, daughters, grandfathers, grandmothers, cousins, uncles, aunts, nieces, and everything. A lot of people don't stop to think about that sometimes. They just see the big truck and they don't associate it with anything. A lot of people, at least a few decades ago, from everyone that I've talked to, viewed truck drivers as basically the last of the cowboys. Now, it's certainly not that way these days. You know, when you think of a truck driver back in the 60s or 70s, you know, there's a, you know, you look at them and it's almost like, you know, a lot of them were cowboys. You look at the old pictures, they had the freedom, they had the skill. A lot of them knew how to turn a wrench, work on their own truck out there. They were very self-sufficient. They didn't have navigation. They didn't have a phone to call their dispatcher. You know, it was a very different world back then for truck drivers. So you fast forward to this day and age, a kid who's 21 years old, who can't even drive a manual transmission car, can get behind the wheel of one of these. He can go to a training program, get his CDL, and he can just be out here driving the truck. It doesn't take any skill to drive the truck forwards. Anyone that's watching my video can do it. If you're 14 years old or 15 years old, you can get behind the wheel of one of these and drive it. Now, there's no guarantee that you won't crash into everything and run over other cars and hit buildings with the trailer when you take your turns. But if you play games like American Truck Simulator or things like that, truck driving simulators, then heck, you can drive this thing just about anywhere, as long as it's not a tight street or anything. So what I'm trying to say by this is anybody can drive a truck. Now, not everybody can back a truck up. That's where you know, it takes months and months to perfect your skill. Now, when I was a rookie, I prided myself with practicing all the time, trying to put the truck into some very tight places. I went to some customers, even on my first week out, which were extremely, extremely difficult. But I always got out and looked. I took my time. I got it done. I viewed it as a challenge, and I like challenges. So that's where the difference is. And a lot of these folks out here, they're just getting behind the wheel and causing a whole bunch of mayhem out here. I think the reason for the higher rate of accidents is because people are just not respecting the roads. They're not respecting the trucks as much. At the same time, a lot of these driving schools out here, they really do need to teach the basics and fundamentals of trucks, heavy machinery, and trucks on the roadways. A lot of people just don't know these things take a very long time to come to a stop safely. And they really do underestimate it. They get in front of the trucks on the highway, on the city streets. They'll get in front, slow down, and then start to make a turn. And they don't realize many times how close they come to death. Every single day I see it. You know, even other truck drivers, like this guy, for example, he's coming out in front of me right now within, it looks like 50 feet. So he came out right in front of me as soon as he came out the dash. He's going 71 miles an hour. But still, that's a little bit too close to come out in front of someone. Cars do that all the time. Sometimes within about 10 feet, they come out right in front of me. So there's just no respect. And a lot of truck drivers do this. A lot of car drivers see it and they mimic
I sentence you to kiss my ass.
At the same time, you have a lot of trucks who will come right up to the car in front of them. They'll come right up to their bumper and ride them for a few miles to either bully them out of the way or just, you know, I really don't even know why. It's pretty windy out today. I'm kind of wrestling the steering wheel to keep the truck straight. I'm guessing it's about 20 mile per hour wind gusts, maybe 30. It's not horrible, but a lot of truck drivers out there talk about going on strikes, you know, that the nation will come to a halt without the truck drivers. That's true. I hear that all the time. You know, recently there was a big talk about going on strike because of the vaccine. A lot of truck drivers don't want to get the vaccine, so they're thinking about mandating it, you know, from what I've heard, you know, to make it possibly be a part of the medical card that every truck driver has to carry around. That's a hot topic, so I'm not really going to get into that in this video, but just think about it. All the truck drivers out here, a large majority of them know that if the trucks shut down, the country shuts down. But let me challenge you with this. Some of the drivers who have this mindset, or maybe even some of my regular viewers who are not truck drivers, think of it this way. Trucks can bring the economy to a halt if they all stop. They bring everything that you wear, everything that you have in your home. It's all been transported by a truck, ultimately. But if it wasn't for the shippers and receivers, those trucks wouldn't be loaded up. So the truck drivers would not have any work if it wasn't for the shippers and receivers. Simple as that. If there were no brokers out there, if there were no dispatchers, you would have no way of getting your product from point A to point B, unless if you know a customer personally and you're doing freight for them, which is rare. That's actually very rare out here, to deal directly with a customer. You know, if you have that kind of a gig, then hey, you've got it going on. If you're an owner-operator and you're dealing directly with the customer without any middleman, no broker, no dispatcher, hey, you're living the life. At the same time, heavy diesel mechanics, you would not have a truck to drive if it wasn't for them. Now some might argue, hey, I work on my own truck. I turn my own wrench and I rebuild everything. Okay, so let's take that into account. You wouldn't be able to work on it if the auto part manufacturers decided to shut down, or the truck part manufacturers. If there was a shortage in that, hey, the economy can come to a halt just from trucks not having anything to put them back out on the road when they break down. The oil producers out there, the refineries, they can bring the economy to a halt right from the source. So I don't say, hey, you know, thank me for my service as a truck driver. You know, that's none of that. This is a job, and it's actually a career that I enjoy. I enjoy being out over the road. And again, the wind is pushing me around as I'm changing lanes. This is crazy. Let's slow her down here a little, let that guy pass us. Then again, I'm sure he's probably going about 80 miles an hour right now. He really did catch up. Oh, he's fully loaded with cows in there too. So he's in a rush to get to where he's going, so those cows aren't sitting there in misery. There are days when I wake up and I miss going, you know, to my own kitchen. I miss going to my own shower. I miss sleeping in my own bed every night. And yeah, this does have a bed in here, of course. It's my bed. You know, this is my little home on wheels. It's a lot like a tiny house on wheels. But still, it just doesn't replace having your own home. The way I see it, everything is in the hands of the big guy upstairs. You know, I think if something is meant to happen, it will happen. If not, then hey, you know, I think everything happens for a reason. You know, there are some people out here that can barely buy lunch and dinner because they're not good with their money. There are some folks out here that only make, as over-the-road drivers, $700 a week, and they think that's good. So many of them are being ripped off by these companies that they work for. Common courtesy these days is pretty much lost among truck drivers. As far as slowing down and, you know, letting them pass, you know, it just seems that day and age, you know, where truck drivers would slow down to let each other pass, or even if they saw a truck pulled over onto the shoulder, you'd have 2 or 3 trucks pulling in behind them, trying to help with fixing it up so they could get that driver back out on the road. That was a time when almost everyone had these CB radios. Nobody had cell phones. You know, let me slow down a little bit. This guy, he got in front of me and now he's slowing down. He's about 250 feet away. So I've got to slow down because he got in front of me to slow down. Now I could pass him. I could go 71, pass him up and get back in front of him. But then he's going to eventually try to work his way around me. So I'm not going to play that game. A lot of truck drivers here will play that game. They don't like anyone passing them. They don't like anyone getting right in front of them. It's just a different world right now. And I started driving in 2015. And even in the past 6 years, things have changed so much on the road. With trucks, with common courtesy. You know, there's always been the similar problems where people are parked in the fuel islands, at the truck stops, blocking everyone in. You know, people parking illegally and blocking you in, not letting you get out. You know, I woke up one morning and I was completely blocked in by a truck that decided to park in front of me and a whole row of other trucks. So it just seems like common courtesy is it's just more, it's disappearing more and more as each year goes by and as we get a new wave of truck drivers in. I'm not saying it's because of, you know, nowadays anyone can drive the trucks. I'm not saying it's because they're automated manuals. You know, these are automated manual transmissions that anyone can get behind the wheel and drive. I'm not saying it's directly because of that, but that is a large contributing factor. There are a lot of good drivers out there who don't know how to drive manual transmissions. Now, a lot of people will say, hey, it's all these foreigners that are coming in. They're the ones that are ruining the truck driving industry. But that's such an ignorant thing to say that if someone is from another country, that they can't be a good driver. I'm from another country, okay, and I consider myself more of a truck driver, more of a professional truck driver than many of these folks that are born here. You know, so anyone that uses that argument, you know, it's an arrogant thing to say. It's arrogant to even mention that. You know, it doesn't matter what country you're from. It doesn't matter what planet you're from. As long as you're a human being and you're behind the wheel of one of these and you're doing your job right, then you have my respect. It doesn't matter what a truck driver looks like. He could be in shape, he could be homeless looking, he could be out of shape, hell, he could be a disabled person. As long as you can drive these trucks and you're out here and you're doing a good job and you're doing your job and you're not on unemployment, you're doing something that a lot of people out there are not capable of doing. Instead of putting each other down out here, especially the experienced drivers, you know, when you see a rookie driver, try to help them out. Maybe they're stressed out, maybe they're panicked. And we've all been there when we're stressed and it seems like everything is coming at us at 1,000 miles an hour. It's good to have someone come out and help out. You all are surprising me because I never thought when I created this YouTube channel that I would have about a little over 200 subscribers as of the time of this video. I never would have thought. Wow, this wind really is, it is pretty serious today. Yeah, that's windy as hell. Wow, that's some serious wind. This guy up here is going 57 miles an hour. It's understandable, it is very windy. And if he's lightweight, he's probably really struggling to keep it in his lane. We are at about 40, we're carrying about 42,000 pounds or so of cargo. It's basically powderized metal that we're carrying from a mine that I went to in the Rocky Mountains. All right, let's head back over to the right. Well, not yet. Wait for that camper there. But yeah, I appreciate all of you. You all have shocked me. I'll tell you. I can't believe I have this many people that watch my videos. I know it's a small channel. You know, there are people out there who have millions of subscribers, but for someone like me to have 200 people who cared enough to subscribe, and some of you are liking my videos, I appreciate that as well. So it does mean a lot to me. It's fun for me to make these videos. That's one of my dream cars right there, the Corvette C8. Let me put my window down to get a better look at it. Yeah, that's my dream car right there. I've had a few Corvettes in the past. Well, a couple. A C5 and a C6. I love them. I think it only stands to reason my next one should be a C7, and then I'll get a C8. I'm a big car guy. I love cars, I love sports cars, luxury cars, and everything in between. Everything has its purpose, even the economy cars. Anyway, you've heard me rant, you've heard me tell a few stories. I hope you all enjoyed this video. I'll catch you all in the next one.
Huh. I expected the Rocky Mountains to be a little rockier than this.
I was thinking the same thing. That John Denver's full of shit, man.
You drove almost a sixth of the way across the country in the wrong direction! Now we don't have enough money to get to Aspen, we don't have enough money to get home, we don't have enough money to eat, we don't have enough money to sleep!